those of you that don't know me yet, the head of the Zehut party. And let's go straight into the actualia, as they say on the radio. I guess the main subject of this week news is the new law that Netanyahu is trying to pass, Netanyahu and the right-wing parties. Law that says that Knesset members that do things things like the Arab Knesset members did last week, went and met the families of the murderers, right? Stood up for a moment silence for those murderers. Those Knesset members, or these kind of acts, will be able to allow the Knesset to fire these Knesset members. And everybody's talking about it, and I think about half of the media time is spent on this issue. Now, there's a big question here that we have to ask ourselves. The chances that a law like that will pass are minimal. And the opposition already said that they're not going to vote in favor of that, even some of his members in the coalition. And the law itself says that you're going to need 90 Knesset members in order to fire a Knesset member. And even if you do pass the law and get this special majority, which you probably never will, the Supreme Court will not let you do that. So the chances of this law to be effective is probably 1 to million. There's more chances to win the big lottery in the United States maybe than to throw away Hanim Zouabi from the Knesset through this channel. And the truth is that the law itself is really a bad law. If I would have been in a Knesset right now, I would vote against it. Because Hanin Zouabi and her colleagues were elected by the people. The people are the sovereign, and the state belongs to the people, right? You should wait to the next election and make sure that they will not be elected again. And there's something very anti-democratic over here when the Knesset, one Knesset member, fire another Knesset member that was not elected by him but by the people, right? This is the basic concept of democracy. So it's problematic from a democratic point of view. And you can solve the problem in a much easier way. You can simply pass a law that forbid these kind of acts and allow the Knesset to take off the immunity from these kind of acts, just as if a Knesset member will kill somebody, okay, or will steal money. He will not be able to hide behind the immunity. So you pass a law that already said that there's no immunity on this kind of acts. And you can also say that there's a minimum punishment of a year or two. And from now on, a Knesset member that go and praise and stand up for a murder, for a terrorist or something like that, will know that he'll find himself in jail, and therefore he will not be in Knesset. So, if on one hand, it is obvious that this law that all media and politicians and Arabs and left and right, whatever, is talking about this week, it's not going to pass, not going to be effective, will never come out. will never pass. And on the other hand, you do have a simple solution. So what is going on? Why is the whole country getting crazy on something that has no meaning at all? The answer is very simple. The answer is that if Hanin Zoabi and Bassel Ghattas and Zhalka would not exist, two sides of the political map, left and right, would have to invent them. Why? Because why is the right in power today? Why is Benjamin Netanyahu the prime minister today, and not Bougie Herzog? Because right before the election, Netanyahu felt that he's going to lose, and said and screamed, "The Arabs are coming! The Arabs are coming! Go to vote!" Right? And everybody got scared. Oh no, the Arabs gonna take over, or the Arabs gonna let the left take over, and ran to the voting booth and voted. And that gave the Likud 30 mandates. The extra mandates it needed to become the biggest party and rule. And later on, after the election, when this horrible intifada that we are right in right now, talking about the knives intifada, okay, started, and almost 4 months, yes, 4 months? It started somewhere...
5 even.
November.
Since Sukkot, so how long?
5 months.
5 months, almost 5 months. Right?
Too many.
5 months, in 5 months, every 2 hours and 33 minutes, there's an attempt to kill a Jew in Israel. Every 2 days, approximately, they succeed. 2-3 days. Okay? That's the situation right now. Either stabbing or throwing stones or Molotov cocktails or shooting or whatever. Okay? 5 months passes and there's no answer. The right-wing government, and it's not a simple right-wing government, it's the best right-wing government we could dream of. Okay, no Lapid inside, no Tzipi Livni inside. No one bothers you. Kachlon doesn't bother you. The Chaverim doesn't bother you. You have 30 mandates in Likud. You have Bennett with very strong positions in the government. Okay, have no answer. Again, you need the Arabs to what they call a witch hunt, or a witch hunt. If people are starting to get fed up of the situation, what can be better than let the whole nation run after Zoabi and forget about the knives? Okay, she is the problem, and Zhalka is the problem, and Bassel Ghattas and Bala, the Arabs are the problem. And yes, we're going to take care of them. We're not going to give up. We're going to punish them. Not that I don't think that they should be taken care of. Don't think for a minute that I become a Hanin Zoabi lover, yes? But she's not the problem. It's not her responsibility to protect us. It's the government responsibility to protect us. And I don't see how that kind of stupid law is protecting us. But it definitely put the focus somewhere else, not on my responsibility. And it's something that we know. We know this kind of behavior from all history when leaders have no real answers. So the answer is witch hunt. Okay, this is what we see. So that's why the right side of the political map need the Arabs. Okay. If they would not, the right side need the Arab to rule, to stay in power. Very simple. Why the left needs the Arabs? The left needs the Arabs because the dream of the left is to be normal, to be a nation like all the nation, or I would say to find our place among the nation, which is the basic dream of Zionism. Okay, it's not something new. The basic concept of Zionism is Am Kechol Ha'amim, whether we like it or not. We'll go back to our land and we'll be normal, we'll be Am Kechol Ha'amim. So they want a state of all its citizens, not a Jewish state. And in order to have a state of all its citizens, you need the Arabs. Because if only Jew can be a Knesset member, then what did we achieve? You can call yourself Israeli, but what you really mean is Jews, right? You need the Arab Knesset members in the Knesset to prove that also non-Jews can be Israelis in order to invent your new national identity. So the Israeli needs the Arab to be able to forget that he's a Jew. Sounds a little bit complicated, but I can prove it from many directions and quotes. Okay? So, both sides get what they want. The left get their state of all its citizens with the Arab help. The right get the power to rule with the Arabs, and everybody's happy. I mean, all the politicians are happy. And we are still here, stuck in the same situation. Interesting, no? We just realized from what's going on in the last week that we're all being fooled by both sides of the political map. It's not about left and right. It's not about security. It's not about peace. It's about identity and power. And the answer of how to solve the problem, how to go out of this circle that we are in, is in this new party of Zehut. Because when you have your Zehut, when you have your identity, you don't need the Arabs. We don't need the Arabs to forget who we are. We already know who we are. We also don't need the Arabs to rule because we have real solutions, as I just explained. And later on, I'm sure you'll ask, I'll tell you what our solution is to this intifada and to many other challenges that we have in Israel. Zehut don't need the Arabs. Not that we're gonna throw those non-Jews, or we definitely think that we should guard and keep the human rights of all those non-Jews who accept the Jewish sovereignty on their land and want to live with us. But our identity is not dependent on them. We have it. This is the message of Zehut. You wanted to ask something before?
Before, regarding what you said about Zabi and the Chag and all that throwing them out would be undemocratic. So I was thinking, what would be a democratic solution would be a referendum. Then the people choose that they don't want them to represent them anymore.
Maybe. I didn't think about it, but until today, referendum was mentioned many times and never took place in Israel. I'm not sure it's a good idea. I have to analyze it, think about it. But as I mentioned, you can solve the problem in a much easier way. If they pass a law, so send them to the judge to to be trialed, okay? If they didn't, make one. At least make sure that they won't be able to do it again, okay? The technicality to deal with that is there. We have the tools to deal with them. Everything that happens now is cynical. Both sides are taking us for runners, as they say.
In order to
What?
in order to preserve themselves in government, that's all they want to do.
As I said, the right, the prime minister specifically, who pulled this whole shtick, and the whole right wing using it to rule. The Likud, the Beit Yehudi, we need the Arabs. Without the Arabs, we wouldn't be in power right now. We need the Arabs to be in power. Everybody knows that.
As a security guard, as Mr. Security. Yeah.
And the left need the Arabs, as I said, to make sure and to preserve this new identity that we invented over here in Israel. Israel identity instead of a Jewish identity. And as I mentioned, we won the right wing, the right side of the Israeli map, won dramatically in the last election. When I was in the Knesset, in the coalition, a year and a half ago, in the last Knesset, you couldn't move. You had Yair Lapid inside, you had Tzipi Livni inside. They didn't let you really do anything. You needed them to, and they all the time passed leftist laws together with the opposition. It wasn't possible to function. Now, this government is the best, is the dream, the government of the dream of the right. No one bothers you. You can do whatever you want. And look what's happening. Okay, more questions? Yeah.
Along that same line, then, what's your take on the initiative by Ayelet Shaked to pass a law to making the NGOs more transparent as far as their funding?
I didn't understand.
Okay, Ayelet Shaked is trying to initiate this law to make foreign-funded NGOs more transparent.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and that's obviously a right-wing approach, and it's obviously been opposed mostly by left-wing people, as well as Europe, as well as states. Are you in favor of that? Do you see her approach as being
Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
more
But
valid than this other one? This other law?
I'm in favor of that, and Ayelet Shaked is definitely a very talented lady. However, Arnon Segal published in the magazine Olam Katan this Shabbos. I don't know who you saw it. A research. It simply took all the issues between left and right in Israel that were dealt since the establishment of the last government, and he find out. Basically, he took every issue that the right wanted one thing, the left wanted the other, and checked out what came out. And he found out like that. 21 issues, the left got what they wanted. I'm talking about the government fulfilled a leftist policy. Okay, in 21 issues. In 6 issues, the right got what they wanted, and in 5 issues, it's still in the process. We don't know yet. Okay, so you see strongly, in a very fundamental way, that even though Ayelet Shaked is talented, and even though there's no leftists in the government and everything I said, the basic direction is continue going left.
In other words, be worried about what the nation say.
What?
In other words, be worried what the nations say and not stand up with the Jewish.
I'm not touching now the reason why. I'll tell you that soon, okay? But the bottom line is that again and again, we winning the election and losing in the election and losing in reality. Find ourselves in square one, okay? And the question is why? The question is really why? The answer is that the left, whether you like the left or don't like the left, they have an agenda. They have a roadmap. They know what they want for themselves. Okay? I just mentioned it before, explained what the basic concept of their agenda. The right wing, the right side of the political map in Israel, the right altogether, never had an agenda. Never had an agenda. Never had a real alternative to the left groups and the left ideas. And that's why when the right win the election, at the end of the day, they find themselves fulfilling and serving, actually, the only agenda that's left, which is the left. Okay? And I'll give you the simplest example. Can anybody here tell me the difference between the two-state solution of Bougie and the two-state solution of Netanyahu? The two-state solution of Yair and the two-state solution of Tzipi Livni? And I know that you might not like to hear what I'm just telling you about the national home, Beit Yehudi, okay? When they don't give a real, let's put it this way, they're not saying two states. Actually, Bennett, at least in Gaza, is definitely saying that. They're not saying it, but directly, like between the teeth, definitely they're saying the same thing. Okay, so everybody is talking about exactly the same solution. The solution of dividing the land between the Jews and the Arabs. No one is coming with a different concept.
No one is what?
No one is coming with a different concept.
Not in government.
Yeah.
Nobody in government.
No party besides Zehut, of course. Again, now, when I'm talking about coming with different solutions, when I'm talking about having solutions from identity point of view to all the major challenges that Israel is facing, I'm not talking only about issues of security in Arabs and settlements. I'm talking about education. I'm talking about economy. I'm talking about housing problem, the housing problem, etc., etc. Okay? With all these subjects, the Zehut Party comes with a real solutions based on that concept of Zehut, of identity.
What you're saying.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ilana.
What?
My name is Ilana.
Ilana. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I may have missed this. If I just missed this, then I can ask you after, or maybe you can just look it up. One is just, I don't even know what your overall medium-term, long-term plan is for you guys on your own. So if I want to hear that, you already said it, look up after. And also, what do you think about by Yehudi's kind of semi-plan for dealing with Givat Shmuel and anything Area C as a medium-term plan?
Okay, I'll answer you in short. Okay, if you want to get more into it, we'll do it at the end because I want to leave time for different subjects besides the air. If I'll start getting into all details, it'll take over the whole time we have. Okay, so the solution is full. It actually finished the occupation. Daila kibush. You have it on your shirt.
Not on this one, no.
We even printed shirts.
I was afraid to wear that one.
Look good for you. I mean, we printed shirts for activists that said Daila Kibush. It worked well in Haifa and in Tel Aviv. In Shuk HaKarmel in Jerusalem, they got hit by some right-wingers. They didn't catch the catch.
Try something really, really funny very quickly.
Yeah.
I was in Hebron, and I don't know if it was Marza or who it was, but I was over to somebody's house for Shabbat dinner, just to see what the area was like and everything, and he had this painting on his wall that said Shalom Achshav. And it was a picture of a dove lifting up the dome of the rock, bring it to Mecca. It's a good sign. Mecca is great. You know, it's great. So it was similar.
No, but we are not talking about Mashiach. We're talking about a very serious plan of to finish the occupation, full Israeli sovereignty all over the land. We're coming with real offers, real solutions to the population that lives there. Most of them express their wish to leave according to their own surveys. We're spending on the two-state solution over 10% of our budget every year, over $1 trillion shekel in the last 20 years. We spent it so far. Just to realize what you're talking about, it's like a big house for free for every young couple in Israel. Okay, this is the amount of money we already spent on the concept of two-state solution. We also have to understand that the demographic direction works in favor of the Jews today in a dramatic way. There's going to be a 80% Jewish majority between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean in between 10 and 15 years, and that taking into account only 500,000 Olim coming at this period of time. I believe there will be many more that will come at that period of time. Besides that, so we should offer them the opportunity to leave with a dramatic help that they will get from us in finding new places, in finding jobs, and buying their real estate and giving them the first support. All that will cost much less than what we're paying today on a two-state solution. This is the first thing that we should offer them. We should also offer them the opportunity to stay as residents, not citizens. Basically similar to what they have today. They'll have to sign loyalty to the Jewish state as the Jewish land, as the land of the Jews. And there should be, in the long term, 10, 15 years, also an aisle path, if they want to go to the army and so on, to become citizens. That's the solution. What?
In terms of Bennett IUD's plan, do you just
Now, according to Bennett Beit Yehudi, look.
good format?
According to Bennett Beit Yehudi, look, I cannot refer to what they say, because every time I hear a new